Hello children, I hope you all are well. I spoke to your parents today and heard a lot of good things about you. You're working very hard and completing all your learning packs. Well done to you. Okay, this week in our English lesson we are going to look at significant people. Okay, as part of significant people we are going to look at explorers. Now before the lockdown we looked at significant people, but we looked at some nurses. I hope you all remember we did a show on Florence Nightingale as well. Okay, so this term in significant people, we are going to look at explorers. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to think about the word explorers. What do you think it might mean? Put your thinking hat on and have a little think. Right, explorers might mean, you might have the answer now. Explorers means is a person who goes around and explores unfamiliar areas. Okay, this term we are looking at explorers, people who travel around the world and learn a lot about the world. The person we are going to look at is called Ibn Battuta. Okay, he comes long time ago. He lived long time ago. He is one of the significant person. And to know about a significant person, what we do is we do a lot of research and we find out what they did and what they learned. Right, Ibn Battuta was born in 1300s. He was born in 1304. Okay, he was the greatest explorers in the world, and he was born in Morocco. He spent nearly 30 long years traveling around the world, and he covered 73,000 miles, which is like equivalent to visiting 44 countries. Now don't forget, in those days they didn't have any airplanes and the ships were not that great, so his journey must have been very difficult. So after exploring all these, he went back to his country to write about it. Okay, where he went, who he met, and that's how we know about this man's exploration. So the first place, let's look at the timeline about Ibn Battuta. Okay, so we've got a timeline here. This is where we are, 2000, and these are some of the famous people who lived during these different times. So let's see where Ibn Battuta would go. So there you go, he goes on 1300. That is 700 years ago actually. Right, and we have Shakespeare, who is on 1500s, a great playwright. Then we have Neil Armstrong, who landed in the moon in 1900s, and the famous Usain Bolt in 2000. So we are here, and just Ibn Battuta is down the timeline, long time ago. Right, okay, now the first place Ibn Battuta traveled to was Iran. Okay, Iran, he made his journey to Iran. And when he was in Iran, they plotted to kill him. Some robbers wanted to take his stuff and they wanted to kill him. Okay, but luckily he had a spear, so he got away with it. But unfortunately, he became very sick when he was in Iran, and he had a swollen feet. He couldn't walk anymore. Those days, when people were exploring, they walked a lot to different places. He met a governor who looked after him for 6 days. He recovered and then he continued his journey. So after Iran, he went to Persian Gulf. In his account, when he went to Persian Gulf, this is the most exciting exploration that he did because he learned something new that he's not seen before. He met some divers who dived deep into the sea and got some shells. So when they came out with those shells, they opened the shells, and the flesh inside the shell, when it came in contact with the air, it turned into beautiful pearls, and Ibn Battuta was amazed to see that. Okay, so those pearls were sold to rich people like sultans and the other merchants. So Ibn Battuta understood trade, and he understood how these lovely piece of jewelry was sold. Okay, after his exploration in Persian Gulf and learning about the pearls, he went to India. Now in India, he worked under a sultan for 7 years. He was a judge. Okay, in the beginning he kind of liked his job, but however, the sultan was a cruel man. He did not trust many people, so Ibn Battuta struggled a lot. The sultan suspected that Ibn Battuta was going to kill him, so he threw him in a cave and left him there for 5 long months. Ibn Battuta survived the cave, and the sultan brought him back into the country and said he's worthy and he could trust him. But after that, the sultan ordered Ibn Battuta to go to China. Okay, now Ibn Battuta did not have a choice. other than to obey his orders. So his next journey, as you can see, he went to China. So that's in India. Once again, he had to go to China. That's another long journey for him to do. So when he went to China, he was amazed by the craftsmanship of Chinese people. They were very, very skilled. One day he went to a bazaar and went to a palace to meet the king. So when he came out of the palace, Ibn Battuta saw his picture all drawn so beautifully and was in the market. He was surprised. He went to the painters and asked, how did you manage to draw and why did you draw it? And they said it's custom for the Chinese to draw new people, the foreigners, and keep it with them in case if they are very, very bad, they will get arrested. It's easier for them to find out. So he learned a lot of skills from the Chinese as well, and he enjoyed being in China according to his account. After China, Ibn Battuta went to Mali. Now Mali wasn't a great place for Ibn Battuta. It wasn't one of his favorites because there was a lot of salt and he had to live in a salt house, and he did not really enjoy that. So he spent 10 unhappy days at that place when he finally decided to return home. Okay, so he had enough of that. He's been away from home now for 30 years. So he's missing his home. He wants to go back to Morocco. But that journey was so difficult because he had to travel 500 miles, that too in a desert. That means there's no water, it's really hot, and there's no other means of transport other than get on the camel and walk most of the time. But luckily that year when Ibn Battuta started to travel, it rained, so they had enough water and he survived the journey. So after that long walk, Ibn Battuta reached home. So when he reached home, Morocco, he decided to write about his exploration, and that's how we know about him now. Right, now what I want you to do is on Monday, okay, so after reading all the slides, okay, with an adult, you're going to do a short role play, okay, so you pretend to be Ibn Battuta and act out about his journey, okay. So where he traveled and what he did, you can put in a lot of actions with the robbers, fighting the robbers, using loud voice, working under sultan, so you can make it as interesting as possible and get your parents to video you and enjoy watching it with your family. Okay, on Tuesday, what I want you to do is, you've got like 5 questions here. I want you to read these questions and all these answers can be found in the slides. Okay, so go back to the slides and find out the answers for these questions and write them in your home learning notebooks. Okay, that's your Tuesday's task. And on Wednesday, I want you to look up at adjectives. When we were at school, we looked at adjectives. Adjectives are words that describes a noun. Like, look at this example. She was wearing a red dress. So the dress is described. So the dress is the color. The color of the dress is red. So the adjective there is red. So I want you to look up, write few sentences using adjectives. Now, if you get stuck, use this website where you've got loads of information about adjectives where you can learn a bit more. Okay? And on Thursday, what I want you to do is, I want you to draw your favorite place there, okay, and the place that you explored, and write down few words. What did you see there, and what did you hear, and how did you feel? Okay, so jot down few words about your favorite place on Thursday. So on Friday, using those words that you jotted down on Thursday in your books, you can write a short paragraph using adjectives, okay, about your favorite place. Now, I've done an example here. My favorite place was the sandy beach that I visited in Malaysia. So I've written about that. Okay, so I've used a bit of adjectives as well. So have a look at the example and try writing a paragraph of your own. Okay, now you've got this PowerPoint saved in our school website, and your parents might have received an email about these as well. So have a look and watch it how many ever times you want. Use the YouTube video to look for your tasks as well and complete your work. Okay, thank you very much.